Good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to Intense Group UK's webinar with myself, Lea Makojola, and our guest today, Oluwatobi Adekunle. We'll be talking about driving growth in the fintech sector by giving value. What makes customers stay and refer. Going right into it, Intense Group is a growth marketing agency, based in Lagos and London and expanding. We combine marketing, creativity, and technology and media services to help finance companies in the UK acquire and retain customers generally, but of course, with African customers, we know a thing or two about them. When it comes to acquiring and retaining African customers in the UK and Europe, we're the agency to come to. Our focus is on data-driven strategies that deliver measurable growth, higher customer retention, and increased ROI. With our deep knowledge of African markets and our experience in fintech, we help companies stand out and thrive. But yes, enough about us. Let's talk about the people speaking on this call. Myself, I'm the CEO of Intense Group UK, and globally, and I have over a decade. Actually, it's more like 15 years experience helping businesses, in different sectors, but especially fintech in recent times, to scale, through smart data-driven marketing strategies. I have an MBA from Side Business School in Oxford, but I wouldn't say that's why I learned my marketing or growth skills. But it's just something that you put out there sometimes so that people can listen. Enough about me. Toby also has over a decade, of experience and expertise in marketing strategy with a strong focus on fintech and SaaS industry. So, he's the right person to be on this webinar. And I'm going to be asking him so many questions that I'm dying to know. So he's in the hot seat today. Yes, I'm going to put fire on his chair. His proven track record includes designing data-driven growth frameworks that boost retention and advocacy. I think I'll let Toby speak a little bit more about himself, in case we missed anything.
Thank you so much, Lay. I'm not sure you missed anything.
Okay.
And I don't know, you can call this false humility. I'm always very careful of talking about my profile.
I totally understand you. I cringe at times. Yeah, I cringe at times, but it's just something that you need to do so that the people listening can understand, like, should I trust what he's saying? Yes, because it's just like, who are you to be telling me this? So it's just something you really need to put out there so that, in terms of just like where their minds are, like, okay, yes, this is the right person to listen to for this. So you could brag a bit, and after this call, you just forget all about it. Yeah.
All right. So from just to pick up from what Leia said, my name is Toby, like you already know. I have over a decade of experience in marketing across different anything tech, basically, and fintech is inclusive. I've been working within fintech environment for a while, even before I got a full gig, like full-time job at some point. Work with different brands, work with different traditional banks also at some point on an agency level, right? So I have background in marketing. I've worked across different spectrum of marketing, and until I got to growth marketing, which is why I'm doing this with Intense, which is positioned as one of the best growth marketing agency in UK and across the globe. And I can tell you that, and that's because I've had interactions with them. So I currently work within the growth marketing space, also run some stuff by the side, And like Leah said, I've also done some MBA, but like he mentioned, the MBA didn't put me where I am, but actually contributed to my journey. So it's been
Mm.
exciting being on this call this morning.
Thank you so much, Toby. I think that that little razzle dazzle that you've added now will make people more confident, in what you're about to say. So, I know we've been raised to be humble, but in today's world, if you don't blow your trumpet, nobody has the time to be carrying your
Nobody,
trumpet to blow it for you. And,
definitely.
people that don't know half of what will be the one that people are listening to, and you wonder why people
Mm,
don't, listen to you. So, I mean, just, to put it out there, everybody blow your trumpets, and people will listen. All right. So, going straight into the agenda for today, we put together some market trends about fintech, that'll just set the context for this call, for this webinar, so that people can just understand the landscape. And we also try to define what growth means to fintech companies and what value means to fintech customers, because it's almost like an exchange. As a fintech company, if you want growth, you need to be able to like deliver value to the customers, and that's why they'll keep coming. That's why they'll stay with your company or keep using your product. And so it's an exchange. And we're also trying to look at the strategies to drive retention, which you know from where I sit, I feel like is almost more important than acquisition. Although it's like a chicken and egg thing. If you don't acquire, then there's nothing to retain. But if you don't retain, then as you acquire, everything just goes out the back door. So they're definitely they go hand in hand. And then overcoming barriers to retention and referrals, and then lastly, a clear action plan to implement these insights. And that's what we'll be expecting to hear from Toby. And then Q&A, where I'll ask him all the questions of all the things I've been dying to know. So going through this slide, I'm not going to be saying much. I'm just going to be like touching on these things and trying to like create a picture. And then I'll hand over to Toby to really drill deep into these issues, so that anyone on the call, we expect that if you're like a head of growth, or anyone that is just responsible for customer acquisition and retention and growth. People are called so many different names. You could be a marketing manager and that's what you're doing. You could be head of comms and they've asked you to do this. So in terms of like naming conventions, that is very, far and wide. But in marketing or in product, as long as your KPI is to acquire and retain, then this is the right call for you. And we're also expecting questions from you at the end of the call. So in terms of fintech, the UK is currently home to over 800 fintech startups, which is quite a lot. Considering even like the population of the UK, which is less than 100 million. And they cater to numerous clients and cover a broad range of services such as payments, alternative finance, wealth management, blockchain, amongst others. Of course, some of the major players in the market are Moneybox, Monzo, Revolut, Wise, Payment Sense, and Starling Bank. Not an endorsement, but I use Revolut and Monzo, and I think that they're like fantastic, products for banking, and very, very robust as well. In terms of the market trend, the UK market size is estimated at around $14.7 billion in 2024, and is expected to reach 24 billion by 2029. It's growing at a compound annual growth rate of 10% per year during this forecast period, that is 2024 to 2029. And globally, the fintech market has reached $310 billion and is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 20% through 2030. So you see that, as much as we feel like the fintech space is saturated and, there's not much that can happen, the simple truth is that, you know, payments and finance is almost like a basic need. You know how in economics back then they were like food, shelter, water, you know, security. But I feel like payments is a basic need because you will need to make a payment, or you need finance to actually acquire this food, shelter, water, right? So it's not going anywhere, and it will continue to grow. And as you can see in the graph here, you have Monzo, you know, as one of the major players. Um, wondering why Revolut is not here. Revolut is one of the biggest in the UK as well. What growth means to fintech companies really is about expanding revenue streams, because fintech is very multi-dimensional. You know, there's different ways that customers can use fintech products. You know, transfers, savings, investments. There's asset management. You know, there's so many ways that a fintech company can drive revenue. So expanding revenue streams. So for one customer, a fintech company can make money from that one customer in 9, 10 different ways. And then, of course, customer retention, like we've spoken about, there's no real gain to acquiring a customer today and then in 6 months they no longer use your product. It's a long game for fintech companies. It's really around how can we get you using our product for 10 years. I'm not going to mention the name of the bank. There's a bank that I've been using since I was in university, which is probably uh, nah, well, if I say that now, I'll be showing my age. So let me just keep quiet. So, so yeah, I've been using this bank for over 10 years, probably even more than that. So it's like that's the real value of it. And when I started using the bank, you know, we were asked to open it with 1,000 naira. For context, 1,000 naira is less than a pound, you know, and I didn't really have a lot of money in there. But these days, you know, there's definitely much more transactions that I do. And that's because I've been able to grow as a person, you know, I've been able to grow my income. And that acquisition, you know, over 10 years ago is probably now really starting to make sense, you know, to the product owners. But if they had lost me as a customer, you know, by the 6 months, then they will have probably only gotten 1.5, you know, 1,500 naira, you know, from me as a customer, which sort of like shows the importance of retention. And you know, next point is acquiring customers without sacrificing experience, because it's really the experience that keeps the customer. And then building advocacy is really around converting users to loyal customers. I could be using your product, but I could just be tolerating your product and looking out for an alternative that will really give me the experience that I crave. And lastly is customer lifetime value, which I've already sort of explained. It's really around, you know, how long would a user use your product for, and you know, what is the value of that customer to you over their lifetime. I don't know how fintechs you know, predict their customer lifetime value, because I'm sure every fintech wants the customer to keep using their product for as long as they're in business, you know. So I guess that's something that Toby will tell us about. um, Now, moving on to what value means to fintech customers, it means convenience, it means transparency, because we're talking about money and finances here. You know, excuse me, excuse me. When it comes to money and finances, you have to be transparent. I want to know what's going on with my money, with my assets, because obviously it's not just money that these fintechs do. There's crypto, and there's just other like digital assets that, you know, they can help you with transfers or just like as a custodian. Personalization is also important. You know, a lot of these fintechs offer like personal finance, helping you with like manage your budgeting, your reporting, your tracking. So, you know, what a bank, you know, would do 10 years ago and what a fintech will do now are almost totally different. You know, fintechs can do so many things that a user would interface with almost every day. Finally, you know, results are super important, because Customers value outcomes, whether it's hitting a savings goal or managing debt effectively. Customers want to, see results from using your product. When it comes to strategies to drive retention, I'm actually going to skip this. I don't want to be the one to tell you this. Toby is, the expert, for today. Is a resident expert, so I'm going to let him, manage that. These last two topics of how to drive retention and how to implement insights before we go into the Q&A session. So, Toby, I'm going to let you take it up from here, and tell us what your gospel is on basically driving value, driving growth in the fintech sector by giving value.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lay. I
You're
was
welcome.
I was beginning to enjoy your session, and you decided to stop
No, no, today
in
is not
the
my day.
middle of.
It's your day. Today is your day. It's your
Okay.
time to shine.
And just before I share my screen, interestingly, while I was working on this presentation, I had trouble, right? I was doing almost 20 slides,
Wow.
and it was beginning to look like I was doing too much. So I cut a lot of things out. Sadly,
It's,
some of
it,
the things I
it's,
cut out were strategies for retention and referral. Because I think I had a speaking engagement in London in November last year, and I was speaking primarily about referral and retention. So I had a whole slide built
mm-hmm.
out for strategies for retention and referral. I didn't include that in this my document.
Don't worry, we're going to bring you back, and then we'll do a part two of
No,
this.
no problem. We can even talk about it. You can ask me questions about it, but I'll still touch on it.
Definitely.
So let me just go ahead and share my screen.
All right, then.
I hope it's going to be an exciting session. Um, can you see my screen before I put it in presentation mode?
I don't see it just yet. Let
Okay,
me
let me put it in
see.
presentation mode.
Okay, I
Can you
see
see
it
it
now.
now?
Yeah, I see it on the screen. Okay, I'm gonna just help you add it to the stage. All right, I see it now.
You can see it
Do
now.
you see? Yeah, yeah, I can see it now.
It's in a presentation mode, right? Just to be sure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, beautiful. So thank you so much, Leah, for the opportunity to come and talk about this. If there's anything I'm passionate about, I think it's speaking. And you know what? Sometimes when I'm interviewing, my interview sessions, from the feedback I've gotten, it always sounds like a lecture. You know,
Yeah.
primarily maybe that's because I used to teach back in the days, not back in the days. I stopped, I think, last year. I used to teach. Yeah, I
It's
used
not
to
back in
teach.
the days at all.
That's
It's
what I'm
just
saying. I used to
it's just
teach.
yesterday.
I used to teach CIM, Chartered Institute of Marketing, level 4 and level 6 courses. But
Okay.
due to time constraints, I couldn't, combine what I'm doing, so I had to stop. So back to the basics: driving growth in the fintech sector by giving value. What makes customers stay and refer? That's a very interesting topic. So we are
Mm,
going to be looking at two things. First thing, the first keyword here is growth, and Leia did a very good job in terms of speaking to what growth means for fintech. Growth means customer acquisition, and if we walk through the funnel, through the pirate funnel, which is more like the model for growth, right? Talking about acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, and referral. That is what growth means for fintech, right? What's the number of customers we're able to acquire over a period of time? What's the average recurring revenue, either per month? What's our average recurring revenue per annum? You want to be looking at those stuff. How many customers do we have? How many active customers do we have? It was when I was in fintech, I realized that having customers there is different from having active customers.
of
Having
course.
apps download is different
Yeah.
from apps usage. So you can have
Hmm.
1 million people download your apps, and you can have
And
just
they're
a
not using.
fraction, exactly, So growth means a lot of things to them. It's a very tough place, right? And what can deliver you in this space as a business is when you partner with the right agency. Trust me, I've been there. Otherwise, you become frustrated in a very short period of time because you are
Mm.
working in a red ocean where you have a lot of competitors. Leah has mentioned Revolut, Wise, Monzo. You can keep mentioning them. We have quite a number of them.
And they're all
So
amazing companies.
exactly, they are all doing well. And
Yeah.
particularly, I have sentiments for Monzo. I'm not promoting them also, but
Mm.
I
Yeah,
have
you're
I have
right.
a soft spot. I have a soft spot for Monzo. They have a very crazy marketing strategy that I particularly love. So we're also going to be talking about value. What does delivering value means, right? We might not go deep into retention, but while we are talking about value, you realize that at the end of the day, what makes any customers to stay with any brand, fintech inclusive, is the experience you deliver. It is the value you deliver, right? I posted something this morning, just this morning on LinkedIn, and coincidentally, my CMO liked the post. And interestingly, again, when we were having a call this morning, a Teams meeting, he mentioned it to the team, said, "Oh, I saw something to be posted this morning on LinkedIn," and it was very spot on. And what did I say? I said something. I said, "People buy from people." I was even talking about B2B, that people buy from people, whether you're in B2C or B2B, right? With the level of ads, marketing activities that are going on, an average consumer is exposed to a lot of marketing materials,
Yeah.
right? So people are looking away from, and that speaks to the referral of what we are going to talk about. People are looking away from ads. People
Mm.
are looking away from, your aesthetics,
True.
your beautiful narratives. People are looking for trust.
Yeah.
And the best way you can deliver that trust within the B2C fintech environment is to deliver value. I'm an advocate for value, right? There's
Mm.
nothing you want to tell me. I'm not swayed by marketing activity, maybe because I work within that space. I'm not
Yeah.
carried away by your hands. I am a stickler for experience.
Mm.
Once you have the best of experience, then you have me. So value and retention, why do they matter? You know, Financial platforms that offer value and simplicity have helped 61% of users navigate financial challenges. It means they are solving actual problems.
Yeah.
Those ones that put simplicity and value at the forefront, right?
Mm.
Another one says more than half of younger users, say 51% of those aged between 18 and 24, trust fintech services more than traditional banks, driven by better customer experiences and again, value, right? And lastly, he said referred customers often have 16% higher lifetime value, which Leah described while he was speaking. Customer lifetime value is how long you are able to retain a customer over a period of time. Say I signed up on your platform in year 2021, and the only thing I did at that time was to download your app and register and do savings, intermittently, not really using it, but I just have fewer. The customer lifetime value is how much is it worth to have me using your platform or using your service over a particular period of time when you compare it to how much you've invested in having me around.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
It
So
totally
what
makes
is it
sense.
costing exactly? So what is it costing you to have me on your platform in relation to what activities am I performing? Did I just download your app and I've only had 1,000 naira for over 5 years? So
Yeah.
it means if you spend 2,000 on the average to acquire me as a customer, and I have 1,000 from 2021 to 2024, then your customer lifetime value for me is negative.
Yeah. Very
Because if your
negative.
exactly if your customer acquisition cost, if your CAC is 2,500, or if your CAC, let's use pounds, if your CAC is 150 pounds, or £100, and I've only saved £20 in that account, it means you are running at a negative.
Exactly.
So let's
And the
move
money you
forward.
save, the
Yeah, you want
20
to say something?
pounds doesn't even belong to the product. It's just like it's
Exact.
still
Thank you.
it's still your money,
It's still the user's
so
money.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a super negative.
Okay, so I want us to look at what is customer value, right? What is customer value? So customer value in fintech is what customer perceive as the benefit they receive from your platform, from your product, or from your service compared to its cost. And cost here can be monetary, can be time, can be effort, can be energy. So because you might be asking, but I'm not buying anything on the fintech platform. I just want to open an account and use, right? So it might not always be monetary. It might just be your time, your effort, your energy, and what it takes to use that platform. In most cases, it is not always monetary, right? It can also be related to the emotions that you've invested. And you might be wondering, do I invest an emotion? Yes, until few weeks ago, when a particular bank in Nigeria was having issues, and that is where I realized that service is more of an emotion than functionality,
Mm.
right? And you see people were becoming angry, people were becoming
Agitated.
frustrated,
I,
exactly
I,
agitated.
I was one of them. I was one of them, honestly. And that experience made me open a new account with one of the newer digital banks.
Wow,
And I've been using it
wow.
as my main account since then.
Hmm.
And this is the
So
same company that I told you that I opened an account with
since
when I was in
university,
school. Yes. So let me just say it. I think it was 2010, right? That I opened
wow,
this account. I've used it since then. But this experience over the last few weeks has made me realize that I need another account, another bank. And now I've sort of like switched to a digital bank and it's been quite seamless.
interesting. That's a very good example. So customer needs, yeah, we can also categorize this into three. If you ask me, right, we can categorize this into functional, social, and emotional. They want to get a job done. Any customer across any sector, right? And I'm saying this based on experience. I've worked on all types, different types, and different forms of products, platforms within fintech. The last fintech organization I worked, had products across payment, loan, SME, and investment. So that gives you an idea that I know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The average customer wants to get a job done, and the job can be functional, social, or emotional. So an example, right? Let's run through an example here. A customer is using a digital payment app, right? The functional job is that they wanted to offer a fast, secure, and convenient payment processing uh, process or platform to manage transactions for them effortlessly. That is a functional job. I just want to make payments. Let it just go through, which was what
Yeah.
we had with that particular bank. I just want to transfer. Let me just deliver.
Bruh.
Once you deliver my money to where I want to send it to, I don't have
I'm
anything to
fine.
do with your platform. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the functional job is always at the top of the priority for any user. Nobody cares about how your color looks like. Nobody cares about your logo. Nobody cares about your ads on the TV. Nobody cares about your designs. When they come to your app or your website, or when they're experiencing your service, what they want is that just get the job done. That's
Yeah.
functional. Emotional. This is interesting. While I was working on this, I was also smiling because it was relating to experiences I faced. The
Mm.
next job is emotional job, providing peace of mind. My money is safe.
Yeah. I was
Well,
really
let's
wondering.
see.
I was really wondering where you were going with the emotional part. Like, how does a product, you know,
Hmm.
satisfy me emotionally? What kind of emotional value? But that peace of mind is a big issue. It's a big
Yeah,
issue.
yeah. Peace of mind. Can you protect my money from fraud? Can I be sure that my data are safe? Using the same bank as a case study, like let me use the right word, agitated. Everybody became agitated. Oh, I am seeing a deposit that is not supposed to be in my account. Oh, I'm
Wrong
seeing some
balance.
wrong balance.
You can't
So,
see your transactions. You can't see your transaction history for
thank you.
weeks. Mhm.
So it is not, see how we move from functional to I want to send money, deliver my money to where I want to send it to I am seeing wrong balances. I can't see transaction history. It was taking away people's peace of mind.
Yeah.
There were issues. I'm very sure if that particular bank, if they had carried out a sentiment analysis, one of the major keywords that will come at the forefront will be fraud on the negative sentiment. They will
Mm.
see fraud, privacy, money laundering. They will see a lot of that come up
Wow.
as top. So people want a platform that will give them peace of mind. The third one
Mm.
is the social job, right? Social job. And social job is about enabling a seamless payment experience, enhancing the user's reputation for tech savviness and modern financial practices. I don't know if that makes sense, Lea. So
Help us break it
maybe
down a
somebody,
bit
okay,
for the
maybe
people
somebody just,
call.
I'll give an example. Maybe somebody just called me, or I'm in the midst of my friend, and we want to pay. We've had a good time, maybe at a pub or at a restaurant, like we used to call it, and we want to make payments. And they said, "Oh, you can tap," and you try to tap with the bank account you currently have, and you couldn't tap,
Mm.
and you are trying it, and you couldn't tap, and one of your friends said, "Oh, what bank do you use?" And you mentioned, "Oh," you said, "Don't worry, let me use mine." And the
And it
person used,
works.
and it works.
Yeah.
Reputation. So first of all, there is your friends will feel, oh, maybe Toby does not know how to use this stacking,
It's contactless.
maybe
Mm.
maybe Toby is just trying to pretend like he's tech savvy.
Or maybe
As
Toby doesn't
as
have money.
oh, Toby, don't,
And
thank you.
that's embarrassing
As
because you know you have money.
as simple as it might appear, right? As simple as that thing might appear, the customer or the user cares so much about it.
Definitely.
They're in a position where they want to brag that they are tech savvy, that they have money, that they are social,
Yeah.
and your so these are the jobs an average user wants to get done, right? Another example, if your app includes automated tool for tracking spend in real time, right? It might mean that it delivers higher functional value. And that is where every fintech platform, because you are different from traditional banks, that is where they should, you know, aim for delivering of higher functional value. The likes of Mozo, Revolut, sorry, I'm mentioning their names,
Mhm.
they've moved beyond the normal, regular, or functional value you want to transfer. Yeah, that's the least they could do, they could offer for
Yeah.
you.
Facts.
Now they are delivering more in terms of savings, in terms of investment, in terms of you can drag your salary into your account a day before it enters. High functional value. If your platform incorporates some excuse me,
Bless you.
some gamified savings challenge, then it enhances emotional engagement. You are earning point. For every transfer you do, you earn point. When you've accumulated a point to a particular level, you can convert it to some amount into your wallet. Yeah, it becomes social. Yeah, sorry, it becomes emotional. It becomes social when you can start sharing stuff. You are probably doing like a savings target with your friends. I know some platforms in Nigeria are doing that. Then it becomes a
Yeah.
social. There's that social dimension to it, right? And that is beyond you going beyond the normal functional.
Traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Banking.
However, there's one important thing I need to mention. So, and this is for both companies and users. This is for both fintech platforms and users. There's often a gap, yeah, between perceived value, the user's initial impression, and the delivered value, the
Mm-hmm.
actual benefits experienced.
Mm.
I know this platform. This is what I expect this platform to deliver. However, when I am using this platform, this is what this platform is delivering. Once
Mm.
there is a little gap between what the user perceives and what they are experiencing, then you enter into a problem as a
Mm.
brand. Like, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense.
I get it. You're saying that if I'm about to use a product, let's assume that it was marketed to me and I downloaded it and I have an idea in my mind as to what I should expect from that product. But if what I get in terms of experience, falls short, because sometimes a product exceeds your expectations and you're like, wow, this is even
Hmm.
much better than I thought. But,
Yeah,
if the actual, value delivered falls short of my perceived expectations, then it's only a matter of time before I stop using that product, as long as I can
thank you.
find an alternative that is much better.
That's very well said. That's very well
Yeah.
said. So a fintech app or a fintech platform can offer unexpected features, which one of my banks here in the UK actually does, like fraud alerts. You want to send
Mhm.
money to a suspicious account,
Or once
you
they see
know,
that you're sending an amount that is
an amount.
larger than
Thank
you would
you.
usually send, they were like, guy. We are not there. Oh." I still understand. Like, we are not there. Oh. This amount that you're sending, make sure that you check who you are sending it to. Make sure it's not fraud. You
Yeah,
know,
then we are not here.
yeah,
Interesting.
just let you know. At least you can give it a second look.
Exactly. On the other hand, yeah, if an app has, say, like a complex user interface, right? The passive cost, which is the effort to use, might outweigh its benefits. That's another example. You pick up an app to use and you find it difficult to even navigate where you want to go to perform the action you want to perform, right?
Mm,
Though you know that at the end of the day, it's going to deliver a particular benefit that you are interested in. But the process of getting to that benefit is tedious and difficult. Then it will probably mean that the passive cost, the effort you are investing, outweigh what you are getting. And that is
yeah,
where a lot of banks get, a lot of fintech platforms
get
get
it
churn.
wrong.
Yeah.
Mm,
You get a lot of users churn or from activating an application. Once they feel that you are asking too many unnecessary questions
no,
or
it's
the
not worth
process
it.
of signing, yeah, they
Not
dump
worth
you.
it. Yeah.
I hope this is making sense to someone. And I'm saying this because I've seen it happen in real life where we dumped a particular app to rebuild the app from scratch because of
Mm,
the user experience. Because it was difficult for people to sign up from start to finish, we reduced the user journey. Just sadly, I left before the app launched,
mm,
right? So it is very important that when you run a fintech organization or fintech startup or company, the first thing that should be on your vision board, either the CEO or CMO, is the user experience. Forget marketing activities first. Forget promotional activities. When I mean marketing activities, promotional
mm.
activities, because
Yeah,
product is
yeah.
part of the piece of marketing. So the product is still an element within marketing.
Everything.
But
Yeah, the
yes,
experience is marketing. Yeah, but when you
thank
say
you. The
promotional,
experience.
definitely, trying to drive attention with the aim of, acquisition.
Yes. So you need to put customer experience at the forefront.
Okay.
So why is customer value? Why is customer value important? Why do I need as a business? Why do I need to focus on customer value? I think the answers are
Those
staring
in the
at you on the
face.
screen.
Mm,
If you want to increase retention, customer retention and loyalty, increase value. Don't increase your promotional activities.
mm,
Deliver value. Even as an individual, our life moves proportionally in the direction of the value we offer.
mm,
You can evaluate your life as we speak. You are in your current position. You are in the place where you are. You are the position where you are because of the level of value you are able to deliver. Is a simple principle. Any product that is not growing has stopped because it's stuck at the level of the value the product is able to deliver at the moment.
mm.
So you want to improve customer retention and loyalty, then increase value. Providing value to customers increase retention. Studies have shown that customers who perceive high value are more likely to stay loyal. You just adapt this to yourself. You find a very good product. Won't you stay with it? It's giving you everything you need.
I have a quick question. I know it's not Q&A time,
Please,
but
no, please go
if
ahead.
if
Let's make
it
it con-
if
let's
it
make it conversational.
if a product is offering value, let's say they created a new feature that allows you to currency conversion, in the app. So I
Mhm.
have pounds, I can quickly change the pounds to USD, I can change it to Naira, I can change it to yen, right? And I'm happy with that value that is being offered. Is there something like value fatigue or where value saturates? The diminishing law of returns, right? Is it possible that after a while I become accustomed to that value, and because you've not given me anything new in a while, I just I'm less satisfied? Is that a thing?
Completely is a thing,
Mm,
right? Completely is a thing. And I'll also adapt this to real life. I'll adapt this to real life scenario.
yeah.
Sorry, the example I want to use might be funny. You just got married.
I want to head. Okay.
You just got married to the love of your life, and the first year of your marriage, everything seems new, brand new. You're
Yeah.
getting to know each
Sweet.
other. Everything is,
Yeah.
there's this adrenaline that pumps.
It's
1
novelty.
year, 2 years, three
Mm,
years, you start having kids. You've had
yeah.
one, 4 or 5 years, you've had two. The law of diminishing return might
Starts to
start to
set
set
in.
in. It will
Mm,
take the couple a concerted effort to do
to keep.
things that reinvigorate the love they had from the beginning,
Facts.
right? To do new things, travel together to different countries, explore the world, have time, chat time at home, movie night at home, just to make sure that they keep the connection going. It's the same thing.
Hmm.
Relationship between customers and brands is like a marriage.
That was an
You
amazing
need
example.
Exactly. You need to
Yeah.
continue to deliver and show value. Once you gauge your customers' feelings, and that is why customers' feedback is very, very important. Your NPS score
Mm,
is very, very important within the fintech. You need to continually check with your customers to be sure that
mm,
they are okay or they want more. You can't just sit down and say, we've done this, okay, yeah, we are good. No, you can't be good. You
yeah.
need to check what we've done. Is it offering value? Are they saturated with this value already? Do we need to start thinking of something else? So, yeah, I completely agree with you. They need to continue to, innovate, look for something else to do. Even though it might not make sense in some segments, it will make sense in some segments, yeah. But they need to
Thank you
continue to
so
innovate.
much for clarifying that. Yeah. I think that
All
was
right,
very helpful.
so you're welcome. 66% of consumers are willing to abandon a brand that fails to offer a personalized experience tailored to their unique needs. Leah mentioned this earlier. Personalized experience. And personalization is one word that has been bastardized within marketing and the business environment. You see personalization everywhere,
It, it
and nothing
means
is
many
personalized.
different things to different people.
The reason I say nothing is personalized is because, okay, let me give you an example. Sorry, I have a lot of examples, and I have fewer slides here, so I'll soon wrap
Examples
up.
are actually great. It just helps us visualize
Yeah.
what you're telling us. So please.
So there's this particular investment platform I subscribed to in Nigeria at some point. I think through one of their sales agents. And they used to send an email, they used to organize webinars, send emails. I just read the emails and take off my eyes. There was a particular day. They now they organized a webinar. I didn't register for the webinar, I didn't sign up, I didn't do anything. And they send all of the email series and they still send me an email that, hi Toby, thank you for attending our webinar. I was really angry. Not angry, I was upset.
Yeah.
I didn't attend your webinar. I didn't
Yeah.
register for it. Why would you be sending me an email that thank you for attending? It's laziness.
Yeah.
And the same organization, when you enter the strategy segment or strategy session, they will tell you about personalization
Hmm.
because there is no personalization there. If you are still sending me an email that I attended your webinar and I didn't even register, then there's a problem.
Hmm.
So personalization is something we need to get very clearly, especially when it goes outside of sending email that tags somebody with his name. That's what people call personalization. Once
Exactly.
I can say,
I was gonna say that. Once you can mention my
once
name like this, they feel
it's
like, yes,
personalization.
it's personalized. It's way more than that.
Personalization within the fintech is about user behavior.
Mm.
You observe that most of the payment I've been making, if you use Mozo, after you make payment, they will ask you to select what the payment was for. So
Yeah.
if you see that my payment has been for savings, or my
My
payment
own
has
is
been for
always
bills,
bills.
bills.
My own is always bills.
Oh, like,
Good savings.
I didn't say mine was savings.
Mine is
I
always
was giving an
bills.
example.
Please help me transfer some of your savings into my Monzo. I'll send you my account.
So if I've been doing, say, bills, and you observe that
You
my
can't change
bills,
now. It's savings, you said. You can't change. I'm sending you my account number
leave
after.
me. If you observe that my bills, I'll use bills. Leave me alone. My
Okay.
bills have been going higher than normal, or it's always been about bills. Then, if you are really about personalization, you should be able to create things around investment and savings solutions that you've created and send it to me. That you
Mm.
notice that I have had a lot of needs and it would be good if I could be saving a fraction of
Set
my
some money
income.
aside. Yeah.
Set some money aside.
Mm.
As a user, if I get such email, I'll feel, man, this brand really cares. They must
I'll,
have been monitoring me.
yeah, I feel like that's very thoughtful of these guys, man. Like,
Yeah,
thank you for that suggestion. I needed that. I feel like it's
exactly.
almost like a personal relationship.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the personalization we get, if we get any, is just your name. Hi, Toby. So personalization is about behavior, how they are
Mm,
interacting with your platform, what they are using your platform for, and how you are able to create something for those segments of
mm,
audience. It might not be you as an individual, it might just be a segment. Because there will be other people like you who are just about views. So you can
yeah.
create something for those categories, depending on the priority, if it's high, medium, or low.
Hmm.
So, why customer value? It increased revenue opportunities, right?
Yeah.
You see, fintech companies, especially in the emerging markets, like say Nigeria, we also have. I know Brazil also to be an emerging market
Yeah.
for fintech. I've demonstrated revenue potential for delivering customer value. I don't want to mention any particular brand in Nigeria, but there's a particular brand. What did they call them? So there's this particular payoff that they use. That they don't charge for transfer. Let me just say it like that. They don't
Zero
charge anything
transfer
for transfer.
fees.
It's zero transfer. Yeah, it's zero transfer fees.
Yeah.
Right? It's a meaningful value to those audience because in that region, people value as low as one kobo, one naira. That you feel you are once it's a gift you are giving me. I'm not paying for this. They like the
Yeah.
word free, right? And I have an example here. It's a new bank in Brazil that captured 50% of the adult market by addressing a particular needs that other financial banks could not meet, which is
What was that name?
seamless accessibility to accounts. Your account
Mm.
in your hand. Like you don't need to go to the bank. You
Okay.
can access everything about your account on your phone.
Mm.
So the adults, it meant a lot that okay, we are not going to enter the bank to queue. So the younger millennials is it's a
That
thing for them.
that's yeah. They're used to that. It's jaded.
Exactly. So these efforts are not just about, like we've said earlier, they're not just about functionality. They're also about emotions. They're also
Mm.
about your social value. All of these help you as a brand, as a fintech brand, to secure long-term profitability. Because once you start bringing in customers and you're able to retain them, I would like to ask Leia this question before I move on. Leia, I would like to ask between customer acquisition and retention for fintech, which one would you prioritize?
I sort of mentioned it, that it was like chicken and egg, but retention for sure, right? And there's one principle that I follow. It's really around, it takes much more to acquire a customer than to retain
Than
one.
to
So,
retain you.
and the
Yeah.
value that you get from retention is much higher than, if you acquire someone and they go out the door after the first transaction. So if you weigh them based off effort and impact, you will get more impact from equal effort that you put into retention than if you put it into acquisition. So based off that, I'll definitely choose retention.
I align with you. Leia is a professional in this space, so everything he said is very correct, very spot on.
I'll just
So
using
another
common
value,
sense. I'm it's you that is a professional here. I'm listening to you.
the
I'm
common
learning.
sense Leia is from knowledge. Common sense is knowledge.
Yeah,
Is
right. Yeah,
is
right.
is knowledge you've acquired over a time that now
If you don't have
became
the
common
knowledge, then
sense.
it's not common. Yeah, I mean,
It's
it might
not
not be common for some other people. Yeah, yeah, right.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
So competitive advantage. How many minutes do I have left? I like sticking to time.
Ah, not too much. Was this supposed to be?
I'll, I'll,
It was supposed to
I'll
be a
wrap up.
1 hour session, but I think we can definitely do like 1 hour 15 because we'll still have
Okay,
some
I'll
Q
wrap
and
up.
A.
I'll move very fast then. So
All
competitive
right.
advantage is another benefit. When you deliver value, it's obvious that your customers or users will prefer to use your platform than competitors' platform. Than when like Leia provided an example. He had to open another account with a new technology platforms, fintech financial
Yeah.
technology platforms, because of the challenges. So those are the things you get when you are able to deliver value. Then lastly is it boosts revenue and trust. Customers who experience high value are more likely to recommend your service to others. Is a very simple logic, you know. And word of mouth, like they always say, is the best form of marketing. And the only best way to get to word of mouth is when you deliver a better experience. I tell people, before you think of marketing as a startup, before you think of marketing, ensure that the product you have delivers maximum value. It
Mm,
becomes much easier for marketing to drive acquisition, to create awareness, and deliver the company's revenue targets. But if you are struggling with customer experience and you are spending millions of dollars and pounds on, then you are wasting your time. We all read about Temu's budget and everybody was screaming, "Oh, yeah, $2.5 billion. That is a lot." But have you used Temu's platform? They've
Mm.
created a monster platform,
I just
very
downloaded
good platform.
Temu and Shane. I don't know. I just downloaded the two of them
They
because
are
I just
they
feel
are
like
cousins.
I can't be left behind. I need to know what's going on. I need to see the
Oh, you are
experience.
late. You are late. You are late to the party. I've been
Yeah,
using
yeah,
them
yeah.
for a
Me,
while.
I've been on ASOS and all of these platforms that and
I'm on this also.
let me not drag you back, but
Game is
yes,
addictive. No worries. No worries. Let's move. It's an interesting conversation. I think we should probably have like a fireside chat, something like that, where we are just,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
So the next question you want to ask is, then how can I deliver value as a fintech? How, what can I do? We've talked about some of these things. It's just putting them together. The first thing is you deliver a smooth and seamless user experience. Customer experiences no longer happen in a bank,
Mm.
right? And we all know why.
Yeah,
If you want to judge a traditional bank today, especially in an emerging market, by the experience you have in the bank, then all of them
yeah,
will score less than 5/10. All of
for
them.
sure. Yeah,
There's nowhere to sit. You will stand. The customer service agent is rude. They really don't
yeah.
care about your welfare. Your what's it called? Your problem is not
The
resolved.
problem is not even
Or
resolved. After
the list
spending
goes
two
on.
hours, yeah,
Yeah. But the point is, experiences are now even digital. So they are not about physical interaction. They are digital interactions. So if we're saying deliver a smooth and seamless user experience, it's on phone, it's on mobile, it's on smartphone. That is where customers get satisfaction from. So first thing is we deliver and create a responsive experiences for customers by developing an application, a mobile application that helps them to interact seamlessly and easily on phone, on tablet, on web. Because customers now judge their digital experience by how easy and how fast it is to use an app or a web platform. How easy it is for your platform to adapt to the screen size is the
mm,
first thing for any application, for any mobile application, is the first thing.
definitely,
You
definitely.
want to log into some bank, you'll be seeing error, system error, system error. Like in
No,
21st century, for crying out loud. The next thing is your omnichannel customer support. You know, how are you also able to support your customers through different touch points, which was what we had with that particular bank a few months ago. Every touch point was closed down. I had about 200K hanging. I had to send an email to them, copy all of the regulators. I could copy, and it was a very worded email. The money was released the following day, and that was
oh
about after
God,
2 weeks. They
wow,
refused to respond to anything on any channel, right? So, as a fintech, what you want to do is you want to ensure that on Instagram or your digital platforms on call, you are responding.
that's
Sometimes
active.
showing empathy, showing that you care is a form of value, is a form of delivering value. Though they know your
Mm,
app has problem, but they can say that no, if you reach out to them, they will resolve your issue,
that
right? So
works.
if you're lagging in one, then you make it up for the other.
And the other, yeah,
Fraud protection, right? So this involves you using advanced encryption method to secure your users' data. One of the things you don't want to do as a bank is to give, or a fintech platform, is to give your user a sense that your platform is not secure.
mm,
Ah,
mhm.
people can joke with everything, not with their money.
No, yeah, they're out
So
immediately.
exactly, exactly. So you want to put measures in place, real-time fraud detection systems, which some banks in the UK have put in place, which they will send you. You don't send the money to a particular account before, or they suspect that the money you are sending is too high for what they quickly send you a prompt. It's an AI thing, right? It's
Mm,
not as if
yeah,
somebody is sitting down watching you to see if you are
yeah,
sending money or not. Yeah.
it's user
So
flows.
driving financial empowerment, also helping your customers to gain control over their financial lives. You are providing them with how to get mortgage. You're providing them with budgeting and calculator tools, saving estimators. If you save X number for X number of period, you are going to
This
be
is how
getting
much
this
you would have.
amount. So
Yeah.
all of those things are ways you can offer higher functional value, right?
Mm.
People will see you not just as a platform. I don't know if that makes sense. Then automations,
Totally.
you can do direct debit, you can set that, oh, money should be sent to this particular people at this particular time,
Yeah.
right? If you don't send money immediately, you can send days that the money should go out. All those simple things. Right? It might
Hmm.
sound like it's simple, but there are
But
things that
if it doesn't work,
yeah,
if it's not there or if it doesn't work properly, it's a nightmare.
exactly. It's a huge, huge nightmare.
Imagine setting up a direct debit and it doesn't work, and then they are writing to
And
you
yeah,
that
I'm telling
they
you, yeah, that
they've sent your matter to debt recovery, and it affects your credit score. I'm suing the
thank
bank.
you. Then it becomes emotional. It goes from
Yeah,
just functional. You see how all of those things tie. It goes from just
yeah,
a functional thing now to an emotional thing because it's affecting your credit score. It becomes a social thing also because you feel
yeah.
that you are unable to do some things because you have a bad, credit score, get some credit cards and all. Right. So offering personalization and user insights, I've talked about this. I won't go into that again. Then lastly,
Yeah.
listening to customers and understanding their needs. Once people enter into business, I think this is one thing they don't do. They
Mm,
just feel, let's just run, and it's not the company's fault most of the time because they're also engrossed in a lot of things. They neglect that part. So let's even hear back from our customers. What are they
mm,
saying about us? What do they feel about our brand? What can we do
yeah.
better? You need to go
Hmm.
back to know what your customers are saying about your brand. Leia, do you want to say something?
Oh no, no, no. I'm
Okay.
listening. Not yet. I have a few questions that, but I'll
All
just
right.
wait till you finish.
I'll wrap up now. I'll wrap up in 105.
All right.
I have 3 minutes to wrap up the other slides. So
Okay.
challenges in measuring customer value. One is this is not your fault and it is nobody's fault. Subjectivity in value perception. What
Mm,
I will call value will be different from what layer will call value. What layer will call value will be
definitely.
different from what you will call value as a user. And because value differs for different segments, it becomes difficult, becomes challenging, right? Because inaccurate assessment of customer value will lead to a misguided strategy that fails to meet users' needs.
Mm-hmm.
You might think your problem is a button on your or is the user flow, right? Is the steps before user perform an action, and it is not about the steps.
Mm,
It might just be about the loading time. You feel it is short, and the customer feel it is too long,
mm.
right? Customer might feel they need a summary and a receipt immediately after they made a transaction, and you might feel that well, once you provide it, they can screenshot it, and they feel no, they need a share button
Yeah,
that says share
definitely.
a receipt. Do
That
you
share
get
button is
so
so important.
exactly? So let me just confirm. But for
And
me, I feel you can
you should give
provide.
me the option to share it either as an image or as PDF. I
So
recently
subject.
saw that with the new bank. I was like, yeah, I like this image one because the PDF for some people they can't open it on their phone.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But once you're able to see that PDF, you can then screenshot it. So is it
exactly.
not
But
still the same as providing
yes, but
the summary on your screen?
they removed that step of screenshotting by just saving as an image and sending it to whoever you sent money to. Like, look, this is it. You know. So I feel like I
Wow.
use that one more than the PDF one. I don't use the PDF one anymore now. I just save as an image.
Thank you. So the next one is just the dynamic nature of customer value. Customer value changes. We've talked about subjectivity. What
Mm-hmm.
customer A perceive as value is not what customer B perceive as value. Now
Yeah.
is what I see as value today, value saturation that Leah talked about, might
Yeah.
not be value tomorrow because
The,
I've I'm used to that. I'm used to it. So I'm not seeing
Mm-hmm.
it as a value anymore. So it
Yeah.
changes with market condition, customer awareness, these people can do better. I just feel that they can do better because of what I've seen other platforms, done. Right. So that is also another factor. Then how to measure customer value, which
Yeah.
Leah spoke about in the beginning. So you look at your customer lifetime value, you look at, we have explained that, you look at your net promoter score, it helps you gauges your customer loyalty by asking them how they are likely to recommend your brand or your product or service to others. You have your customer retention and churn rates, which which measures the percentage of customers who continues to use your product over a particular period of time, and customers who churn, the percentage of customers who stop using you over a particular period of time. Customer feedback surveys and financial outcomes in terms of your revenue at the end of the day, how much you are making, will tell if you are delivering value or not. Like I said, I didn't go into the strategies for retention and all, which I believe one way or the other we've covered them in the course of the conversation, because I feel
I
retention
got to do part
maybe
two.
next time. Retention will go and referral will be what we'll
Yeah.
talk about. So
Yeah.
thanks
Well, this.
everyone.
Thank you so much, Toby. Thank you so much. I think that this has been a very
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
insightful and interesting session. I actually enjoyed it, and I saw myself in a lot of the scenarios that you were painting. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, like you said, fireside chat might be the next thing. We don't know who would organize it, if it's growth school or intense, but
No,
let's
Intense can bring Go School on board. We are hopeful. We'll have a good chat.
anyone that works that comes first. I'm looking forward to it. So I have a question. If the viewers don't have any, you stress very highly, and everybody says this, right? When it comes to growth marketing, that word of mouth is the real, acquisition strategy, right? That's what you should expect. What you've essentially told us is that retention is done not by marketing, but by making a good product and creating a good experience. Just keep
Absolutely.
on creating a good experience, offering value, and basically users will tell other people, like, come and use this product, right? But as somebody that is in charge of growth, you have KPIs, you have numbers, there's a timeline. You want to be in charge of that. You want to be in control. You want to be able to, you know, determine when that happens. So you don't want it to be happenstance, is what I mean. Like if your boss, your MD or some so the people in C-suite ask you, like, how are you driving this? How many should we expect? If you leave it to just people telling themselves, that's not something that you're going to be able to predict or project, right? Accurately, So the question really is, how do you gamify and scale word of mouth acquisition? How do you ensure that people do it and it leads to acquisition?
That's a very tough question.
I mean, tough
Before
question
before
for an expert is an easy question.
before 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 any brand or any company or any organization gets a word of mouth level, it means you've gone beyond and above. Trust me.
Hmm.
And the reason is very clear. Competition today is very high.
Stiff.
Like you can have four different fintech platforms or accounts like you are using. Once one is not giving you what you want, you move to the other
You
one,
move to the next
right?
one
So
immediately.
it is very difficult. But can you get there? Yes, you can. You can get to a point where word of mouth is delivering your acquisition. And I'll go back to what I've said earlier. It starts with the product. It does not start with marketing, right?
Mm.
It starts with ensuring that your product has checked all of the boxes in terms of value that you've identified, in terms of what you want your product to represent in the market, in terms of meeting the customer's needs, functional, emotional, and social, right? and in terms of meeting it excellently. So you can meet it by you meeting it excellently. Are you doing more for your audience? So once you're able to
Mm,
do this, then that is where marketing comes in. You start devising marketing strategies. How can we use influencers? How can we use digital touch points to talk about our narratives? How do we want to leverage on content? What do we want to do? But you cannot start from level two without doing level one.
I totally
You
get that.
cannot use an influencer to talk about the bad products, right?
Yeah.
You
I mean,
expose
if you
your
do,
product
y- yeah, you will even expose the deficiencies of your products, or people will start talking, is it that stupid
exactly.
product that is always hanging? You know.
So what I've observed today is that virality is now being planned.
Yeah.
People used to think virality, something goes viral, it happens organically. No, today
No,
you can plan it.
definitely.
You can plan the virality of your product, and that's where marketing strategies come into place. But I always advise before you talk about virality, is your product in a good shape? Is it delivering the barest minimum? Is it going above and beyond? Then, if you've
Mm,
marked or checked all of the boxes, then we can start talking about putting strategies in place to drive word of mouth activities. Yeah.
amazing. I think I just wanted to clarify that. So basically, what you said is, maintain consistency when it comes to offering value.
Hmm.
That must come first. And then once you have that, it's kind of easy to simulate it with marketing. We're having, I mean, influencers, having like referral programs and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
have that, you are actually going to create a much worse situation. In fact, you're better off keeping quiet, you know, uh,
Yeah. Can I
until
can I
you're,
ask you some? Can I ask you something?
yes, please go ahead.
When you talked about referrals, how many referral programs have you participated in?
I don't participate in any. I don't. Revolut is always saying yes. Last chance to get this 250. I don't want your 250 pounds. Leave me alone. I don't want your 250 pounds. So the funny part is that if somebody walked to me and gave me 250 pounds, I'll be very happy. But you see, to be now sending it to somebody to say, please use Revolut. I'm just like, please, you have to fix that on your own. You have to go and refresh on your
So,
own. Sorry.
so for me, reward is a better strategy than referral.
Mm, mm.
Referral today has been made very tedious, and it just looks like all these banks just want to tick box. They will say you should bring 10 customers or 5 customers to be any one pounds or five. Who will
So
go through
I can't help you. You have to make the reward much bigger. I'm sorry.
exactly? So
Yeah,
what you can do is and that's why I said reward. Okay, if you do transaction, what's this value? We will give you this value.
yeah.
People want to spend, and I've used that and it worked. Than say
Mm.
the one that does not work is refer us to bring 10 of your
10 of
friends,
your friends,
or
nah,
nobody has time.
no bueno. If it was even one, I mean, I could easily do that. Which one is 10? Leave me. Oh. I can't do that. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
totally correct. I mean, okay, so let's ignore referrals, but I think to drive your point home, you have to have a good product before you can make noise about your product and basically try and
absolutely,
stimulate people to tell their friends or share it,
absolutely.
So I think that totally answers my question. um I think I'm just gonna like pull up my presentation again, so that we can wrap up, because
All
obviously
right,
we need to let you go, the recording of this webinar would be, I believe it would be sent to everyone that registered, and I think we'll also put it on our website. I think that we have a series of blog posts about this particular topic. I will also try and break it down and share it on our social media as well, on
beautiful.
Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So there's an ebook that's available as well that we wrote, from our research, from my experience. Please help us critique this. We're happy
Oh,
to.
really?
Yes,
I'll
yes,
certainly. in fintech
Leaders
companies.
in fintech companies
Wow,
can achieve
really?
sustainable growth. Yes,
So
yes, it was
why am
put
I not a
together by our team.
contributor, Lay?
Yes, this is just edition one now. That's what I'm saying. You
Don't
know,
mind me.
that's what I'm saying. We want you to critique this. We want you to contribute. We would like to
Okay.
do a V2 of this as well. So we
Beautiful.
believe we should get this in your email, hopefully today. And everybody that
Oh,
registered
nice.
or attended this webinar should also get this ebook. Um, of course, if you want to, have a chat with us on what we can do, if you have a fintech or you work in a fintech organization and you're responsible for growth, or you're one of the part of the team responsible for growth and retention, you can reach out to us. Let's have a chat. Let's audit, what you're currently doing and potentially help improve your strategy. You can reach us on the number on the screen, or you can just send an email to hello@intensegroup.co. You can also just visit our website at intensegroup.co.uk. So I think, that would basically bring to an end today's session. I really had a lot of fun, having this chat with Toby. I think I actually wanted to talk more than listen to the slides. But I guess it's because a lot of these things are actually very personal. Even as we're trying to be the thought leaders, we experience these things every day. And one of the things that really stood out to me was that emotional value, which is because it's not tangible, you don't really think about it. But I feel like after you've fulfilled the functional value, the emotional value actually takes up most of the value that customers, demand or require from a company. So I'm hoping that apart from me, everybody learns that as well, and goes back to the drawing board and start to really think about the emotions of your customers, like how you think about
Hmm.
your wife's emotions or your girlfriend's emotions, and keep things fresh, keep things spicy, keep adding new things, keep adding new experiences. I think that there was no better analogy than that, and I really want to thank you for coming, on this webinar today. I really appreciate your time, your wealth of knowledge, and I hope that we can, do this again in many different ways, like you've said, fireside chat, contributions, and yeah, we're gonna meet up soon as well, grab a coffee, or if not coffee, maybe some Nigerian food, plantain, and
That'll be nice.
rice.
That'll be nice.
Exactly. So, thank you so much, Toby.
All
I
right,
think
Leia,
that
thank you
you
so
would
much. I
need to
really enjoyed my
stay
time.
on, yeah, you need to
Okay.
stay on the call so that we can download and save the files. But I
Okay.
think that
Okay. That's fine.
yeah, the back office marketing team are going to end the stream, and then we'll just save the files. But thank you to everyone, and see you again very soon.